Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of After Hours. I mean, what a week. What a week, right?
Oh yeah, for sure, definitely. Week of emotional swings, week of high and low P&Ls, all over the place, especially in the office.
Yeah, so I mean, part of the reason to putting together this content is to get an insight of what's going on in the office. So we get a lot of questions like, what's kind of going on? What are the day-to-days? And we want to give an insight and look into kind of the day in life of like a trader per se, right? I mean, this week was interesting, right?
Yeah, starting off the week, we started off the same as the past weeks. It's just, new highs, whatever, right? Same old. And every week we've been somewhat getting a dip, and it's like the day by the fake out dip, whatever, right? And this week on what, Thursday was it?
Yeah.
Thursday, the market just slammed down. It just slammed down, and people that were used to trading like the past week strategies, which was to just buy the dip, well, they got hammered.
Yeah.
They got hammered, and yeah, it like one of those strategies. It works until it doesn't. And this week, you could clearly feel the energy between some people in here that were trading that way, some people that weren't.
Yeah.
And it's just part of the game. But
Of course.
it was a big move. It was a big move, and it made a lot of people a lot of money, and it made a lot of people not so much money.
Yeah, of course. So, I mean, since March, the market's kind of there's been volatility, of course, and then we've kind of just gone into this melt up.
Right.
And a lot of the older guys that I've noticed, they continue to just be like, yo, like, this can't last forever. And then, of course, you're seeing a lot of the newer traders that are in the marketplace, and they're like, buy the dip. Let me get some Tesla. Let me get some Apple, right?
Especially after the split.
Yeah, after the split, it's like, all right, now we got it 4 times cheaper. Now we got like a fourth of the price. We got a fifth of the price, and like I'm getting texts every single day. It's like how much I made on Tesla, how much I made on Apple, and like every single person we talk to that's just starting to trade, they're like, what do you own? And they're like, Tesla. I just bought Tesla, right? So that's the hot stock, and then it's just behaviors that we've kind of seen over a period of time. And it's just, I mean, it's human emotion that everybody's kind of conditioned. And then when it's hot, it's hot. And then when it's not, it's not, you know? So
it goes down very south. And for all these people that were just going out and just hitting up, the hot stocks, like they definitely like got hit hard for sure. I know some people out there that got hit hard for sure. Just hitting up that Tesla, hitting up that Amazon, Apple, all these hot techs that were booming.
Yeah.
And it's just now it was long waited for. It was long waited for. It's bound to happen.
Yeah. So then, I mean, of course, where do we stand now is the great question. Nobody knows. So, but what we do know is volatility is back for the shorter period of time, right? So, I mean, personally, let's talk about some things for the week. Like, let's talk about kind of our adventure through the week.
All right. So, like, starting off the week, I was doing my thing. Just selling premium, right? Just watching the tape. Everything was just calm as usual in the office. People were usually doing the same thing. Just coming in here, everybody's just calling out for stuff and doing whatever they're doing, yada yada. And then all of a sudden, heading into Thursday, the energy was different. Off the open, you felt it. It was like what everybody just went dead quiet. The whole office went dead quiet for a second, and then you just started hearing the tape. You just started seeing the tape. Then you got all these people like selling it and buying these stocks, and it just felt different. The tape felt different that day. And then as soon as things started moving down, like the energy completely changed. Like you would see people like not jumping up, like you would see like their smiles from across the desk, and you would see all the traders like going through it. And it's like it was like at that moment in time, it was the extremes of both sides. And it was so interesting to see like firsthand the extremes of someone who was in it and someone who was going through it.
Of course.
At the same time, like right next to you.
And everybody went through it during the day at some point in time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Through the dips and through just the volatility.
Yeah.
Like personally, it was emotional, right? For me personally, it was emotional just for the intraday stuff because it was like, all right, we've been conditioned up until this point since March. It's like buy the dip. And it's like every time you try to short, you just get run over. And then you try to buy, you try to short, like back in mid-June, the Fed comes out and they're like, yep, we're saving the market again. And then we just go into this mountain, right? And so now there was like the hesitation where it kind of like everybody was quiet. It was like, all right, is it time, yo?
And it felt like you were wondering, like at the end of it all right, so this might sound stupid or not, but is there a chance we go up again? Like, I don't know.
Exactly.
You still hanging on to that because like these times it's just like it can happen.
Oh, it can happen. I mean, I've seen like 70 handle down days just be reversed in the US, and I'm sitting here like, come on, man, like, are we ever gonna have a down day? So I went back and I like tracked. I was like, yo, like, what was August like during this meltdown? And there was 5 down days in the Nasdaq. I was counting. I was like, all right, and that's being generous. It's being generous. Like some of these days were just like relatively flat that we can call down because I mean they were red, but they weren't actually red, right? And so let's talk about kind of the environment of an office, being in an office. I mean, I personally told myself I would never work in an office. Like that was my mind. Like, when I went to college, I wanted to be like an ER surgeon. The reason I wanted to be an ER surgeon is because you're always on your feet. There's stuff going on. You can move around. There's action here. There's action there. You're always helping people. And ironically, I find myself in an office.
Dude, but all right, I think that the word office is such a broad thing and a broad term.
Of course,
an office it carries a negative stigma because you just think of the shelf and you think of someone answering the phone and calling and that's it. Like you're locked up in your own world. Yeah. But this office is not a normal office. Nope. This office, like everybody's next to each other. Everybody's, in the same game. Everybody's sharing ideas, sharing, positive energy, coming in, just like prepping up. Yeah. Like everybody's just like, all right, it's like a whole team, but everybody's like on their own. You know what I mean? Of course. So like, I personally love that I'm working in the office.
Me too.
I personally love it. Like I come in here with a smile every single day, and just the energy. Like as soon as people walk in this door and we start getting as soon as the traders start walking in, like we're just like bouncing each positive energy from the start from each other and learning about each other and just talking like.
And it's just an amazing environment to be in to learn from so many different aspects. Like everybody's doing something different
and attacking different markets.
Of course, everybody's attacking different markets. I mean, we have traders in here that are doing options. Of course, we have traders in here doing futures. We have forex. We have
crypto.
Now we're doing some of the cryptos. We're doing like all of this kind of different stuff, and everybody brings in different calibers of skill and basically wisdom and history on their trading track records. And it's cool to see the collaboration and people just talking about like, yo, let's get to work over here. We got some edge over here, and there's so much opportunity. Like when people say that the market is efficient, I think that the market is, possibly efficient, but it's quite efficient. Like we have been to a point where we've optimized. However, we created the market, and therefore there's always an opportunity. Right? So it's always cool to like, even if you're like sitting down, you're having drinks like afterwards. Like yesterday we went and had drinks, right?
Right.
And then we're like, yo, let's attack this angle. If we get over here, we capture a little bit of this edge. Then we got that. Then we can move over into this market. It's super cool to be like around people that share the same passion.
And then someone's always out there doing something while you're like on another market. So then like when you go over there to the other person, like, yo, so what's up over here? Like he'll just like fill you in. I'm like, oh yeah, this is happening. And you're like, oh, so there's probably opportunity over there.
Yep.
So let me wander around this market, see what's up. And push comes to shove, like look at you for example. Like this weekend, you went like, all right, let me try out the crypto for a little bit, and talk to me about that.
So I went into the crypto basically, through conversations with people on the street, just through conversations, and then being in the bubble of in 2017, right?
Right.
So there's a huge crypto community down here in Puerto Rico. So
Right.
I mean, I always have an ear open to see kind of what's going on. The projects are super interesting to me. I think that we can optimize further using some of these technologies, but it's a very adolescent marketplace, right? So I'm coming in here, I'm looking, and this is the new, like, hot thing is DeFi, decentralized finance, right? And I'm like, yo, what's this? Like, I'm on here, I'm watching podcasts, I'm watching like YouTube videos. I see something called yeah, I found this sushi token, right? And I was like, dude, like I'm sitting here after volatile day and Thursday, so I came in here early. I'm in here at like 3:30 in the morning, right before like right at the London Open. I want to see what the futures are doing. I want to see where everybody's at. And so I got some webinars going on, like looking into this DeFi. I see sushi token. I'm like, yo, and then they're like, yo, I'm wrapping this. I got APY over here. I got like all these returns, and I'm like,
right.
I gotta short it. You say we got a sushi token. Let me short it, yo. They said I got a hot dog token too. Like people over here, they're
hot dog token.
There's the hot dog token. There's the yam token. There's the sushi token. I'm over here like, let me short it all. So that's exactly what I did. So.
Right.
I'm just up in here like learning about these things, and then a guy across the island, we call it, is the Rua Des, right? His name Jadiel, and we were talking about it on the feed today. Like he's up in that crypto space too. So like me and him now we're popping off. We're talking about like the crypto, the opportunities over in the crypto,
right?
And that just kind of just ties back into the office environment, right? Like if I was at home. Trading at home, like I might know about this stuff. I might be on some online forums, but I'm not gonna have that human interaction where it's like, yo, we gotta be up in here, we gotta hit it hard. Like it's not gonna last forever. You know what I'm saying? So
of course not. Opportunity, like you said.
Exactly. So that's the cool part about being in an office, and so everybody's kind of got their own thing. Everybody's piecing in, figuring out where they fit in, and then sharing. I mean, that's
and even beyond that, like everybody has a different characteristic when it comes to trading. So, for example, some people in here are like good at executing. Like they call it as it is, and then like when they execute, like they do it right. And then some people are good at spotting opportunities, while others are good at like taking like, all right, this is the time to exit.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's like. We don't call each other out, like, yo, you should exit now or whatever. But we within reason, like we're always like guiding each other, like, all right, so like like at this point, like this happened. Like, do you still want to keep holding it, or do you want to move forward with this? Like, this is ultimate like pros and cons at the moment, and then like you start like taking wiser decisions based off stuff that you're learning from other traders that they're good at execution, and they're like, listen, like if you're gonna take this opportunity and you want to take this trade, like now's the time, and you're like. You know what? Maybe you're right. And then you just like
there is pros and cons. Like we've said pros, but there is cons. So
right.
Like the con aspect of that is like sometimes it can be a little bit of noise, right? So that's what you also got to sift through. So like this week, I just put my noise, like I got these new noise canceling, right?
Right.
I can't hear anything. I think like everybody's yelling at me, and I'm like. No, I can't hear it. Like, man, no, I'm going up in my own world. Like, I gotta focus. I got a bunch going on. So there's so many different aspects to it, and like, I think being in an office, being around that energy is good. But then there is the cons of it where there could be negative energy sometimes. You know what I mean? And negative energy in terms of like, let's say somebody's having a bad day. Yeah. And that brings a whole different complex into the equation that you're like, all right, like you would have never thought like you would have had to deal with it. We always have our own problems, you know what I mean? And the longer I'm like around traders, the longer I'm around like the game, like there's always a problem. Like you're personally always gonna have a problem, whether it be money, whether it be life, whether it be literally anything. Like there's always a problem to be solved. And so that just, it comes back to then we have each other, you know what I'm saying? So then like we've kind of built this community where we've kind of bonded now, and we're going to do these things, and we're having like deep conversations where it's like, yo, like I've had some rough stuff happen, like let's talk about it, let's go eat some lunch, and let's think it out, you know what I mean?
It's funny, like as traders, we know the human behavior of a trader.
Of course.
So as soon as something is going wrong for a trader,
Yeah.
you can spot it out from a mile away, and that's a pro. That's sort of more of a con than a pro here, because you know from afar like that guy's going through it, so you want to give him the space or whatever, right? But it's like, it's so interesting, like you like you just said, like even if it's not even trading related, like something outside of trading, like for example, if you're moving into an apartment, you can like and there's like all this stuff you gotta do, moving around, finding furniture, whatever, and then like having calls, and then that plays into your trading and yada yada yada, all that stuff, and you can see the stress from the person, like, this is bugging me, and I can't even trade or whatever. Like for example, like this week I went like I had like I didn't have enough bandwidth. Like I was dealing with when the market started crashing.
Of course.
I actually had a good position on, and I was able to to reel in some nice P&L for my account, but I was handling so many other stuff like on the sides. Like I had some trades put on the forex market. Like yes, my stock market, like my options went great, but my forex trades didn't go that great.
Yeah.
So I'm dealing with that. In the meantime, I got some work stuff that I gotta get done, and I'm behind on, and I'm like, all right, like I'm this is stacking up, and then I got some personal, things that I want to get done that I haven't been able to get done. And they're just stacking up, and they're all just hitting me. I had some trading, I had good trading week in essence on the options. I had a bad trades placed on my forex trades, and I had then like some work. I had friends that I had I was like trying to work around with, see if I could meet them or whatever, and then I had some meetings over here, and then I had some stuff I was falling behind, and everything was just like piling up, like and like I didn't have physically enough time to take care of each one. And everything led up to that day, to that moment. Like everything, like that was like quote unquote, if you were to put an expiration date on all these tasks, it was that day.
Okay.
Besides trading.
Okay.
And it was like I had so many tasks outside of trading, work related, personal life related, everything all at once, and it was all just pointing towards this day. And then like what tipped me over the most was like I took somewhat of a bad loss on my forex account, and then after that it was like all these stuff just hit me. Like I was like, I can't do it. So I just like I zoned out. I disconnected for like an hour. I took a nap. Like that's my thing. You already know it. Like whenever I'm going through it, like you said, there's behaviors in this office. Like you could tell when someone's going through it. So like I lay on the couch. That's what I do. Like when I'm not at ease, I go to the couch, I lay down, I put on the blanket over my face, and I just close my eyes, and it's like, that's it. Like,
some meditation, some midday sleeping.
I need to take a breath, and then I just, all right, breathe in, breathe out. Let's do this right. Like look back, like where are you at? Like what do you gotta get done? Let's go. What can you move around? How do you work around all this? And then essentially speak. And then like eventually it's like, all right, I'm still good here, so I can do this. I can angle this out this way. I can move this to this day. And then slowly but surely, I started coming back to a normal state of mind. And then that's when everything just calmed down for me. But like you said, like it's beyond trading. Like yes, trading would cause you a roller coaster of emotions.
Of course.
There are some other things that can just, trigger it off even more. And for me, like this week to me was like one of those weeks.
Yeah, I think for a lot of people there was definitely highs, there was definitely lows. And if you were able to somehow stay in between, level-headed, you would have been all right. You know what I mean? So being on either side of that equation would have been, I mean, we'll see.
Yo, dude, I mean, this week was intense. Like, what happened to Lucci?
Oh yeah,
bro.
Yeah. We should do a whole video on it. We should do a whole video on it and talk about it and throw it on the feed.
Bro,
That's what we should do.
Dude, I can get okay, never mind. I'll spoil it for now, but
We're definitely gonna have to get it out there.
But that's I got some great stuff that I can pull off from that. But yeah, man, that's what's going on. That's what happened this week at the office.
Yeah.
Well, like we don't know what's going to be upcoming next. Like this market is like volatile, and you can just flip the script on you in a minute. So again, this experience over here has been amazing so far, and I just want to close it out with like, if there's anybody out there that went through the emotional swings like of this week, the market's in a crazy condition right now, so it's normal. Like we saw it firsthand here, people going up and down, and it's like it's just the way it is right now. So always like keep an eye open and stay clear of rough waves coming ahead, and like make sure you position yourself in a way that you can always maneuver yourself out of it. All right, and anything else you want to throw out there to the
Yeah, always stay hedged. Always stay hedged. That's one thing I've always learned. That I've learned more and more. Like everybody that walks in through those doors is like, always stay hedged. No matter what, whatever you think can't happen will happen, and you have to be ready for it. You have to. So that's it.
All right. So thank you guys for watching. Stay tuned for the next After Hours episode, and we'll see you later.